All right. Check. Yeah, let me know if you guys, if you can hear me okay. We forgot to turn the mic on. A little bit of a mess today, but we are live, so. All right. Well, after that crazy intro, welcome to Adams Polish's Wednesday live video. And actually, finally, today it's like good weather. For the past few weeks, it's pretty much been raining like every afternoon and evening, and now we're good to go. So I have Courtney's Volvo here. This thing is sweet, all electric Volvo C40. This thing is awesome, and it's actually, you know, it's like a newer car, really great condition. It's going to be a great thing to be able to show you guys kind of differences of drying aids. I have a few different products out here. I'm even going to grab some more. But I'm going to kind of show you, I'll do different sections of these drying aids so you can see, you know, each one kind of serves a different purpose, which is pretty cool. And really the ultimate goal here for a drying aid is to reduce the chance for water spotting, okay? Whether you're using a drying aid or not, you have a chance of getting water spots. It's just kind of how the world works, especially everyone has hard water. Unless you're running a crazy Deionizer system, like ones that we offer, you're gonna have to deal with, you know, managing water spots, okay? Now, I will say this, on our YouTube, we have a video called How to Prevent Getting Water Spots. That's a really good video to understand, you know, if you have really hard water, well water, things like that, some of those methods I talk about in there actually are really great, helpful tips. So things like utilizing the shade when you're washing, or you know, using a deionizer to filter your water, or even, you know, how you dry the car, things like that are all in that video. Really great information. So make sure you go check that out on our YouTube. Just go to Adams Polishes, our YouTube channel, and you can find it there. So first things first, Courtney's car is a little bit dirty and I want to get it sprayed down. So while I get this kind of going, because I don't want to put the drying aid on a super dirty car, I'm just going to quickly wash the car. While I do this, if you guys have any questions when it comes to washing or things like that, please feel free to put them in the comment section. Elam will read them off. And by the way, we're on TikTok here and we're on YouTube here. So kind of dual purpose live, which is really cool. So whether it's comments from TikTok or questions, or comments from YouTube questions, please feel free to give me a shout. All right. So I'm just going to quickly wash the car for one quick minute. And
sorry, how bad is the water remover product on Graphine ceramic?
How bad is like water spot remover? You know, actually there isn't really any chemical product that can harm your ceramic coating. So water spot remover will work pretty good. The one thing I will say about water spot remover is it's an acid. And with an acid, sorry, I just want to reduce the chance for water spots, and using our soap is one of those methods. But with the acid, it's hydrofluoric acid. You know, if it dwells too long or you don't get it off the surface fast enough, it can create a haze on the surface, whether that be on your paint or your glass. So water spot remover, I tend to use, like, not necessarily as like a last resort, but it's definitely, you know, I'm trying other things before I resort to that. And water spots too, just so you guys know, like, water spots come in like 3 different phases kind of. So water spots can happen, like you can, if you catch water spots early, like if you catch water spots within the hour of you're done washing, generally you can use waterless wash or detail spray to remove them. And the reason for that is because at that stage of water spots, all that's on the surface is minerals. Okay, so minerals, which what I mean is like sodium, magnesium, minerals that are in the water. okay? Now, if you wait too long where you get to a week or so, once the water spots have fully dried on the surface, what happens is they turn to scale. So some people, I know definitely at my house I have scale, but I have almost like a white hard substance that kind of surrounds my faucets in my kitchen. Okay, that's the buildup of the minerals turning into scale, and like I can't just like break that off with my fingers. I need like a scale remover, a lime remover type of product to really like get that off. Okay, so in that sense, once the water spots turn to scale, then they are pretty much adhered to your finish. Okay, once they're adhered to your finish, using a clay bar, like a mechanical type of removal, like a clay bar, is one option to try to use. And then if that doesn't work, usually getting to water spot remover is probably where you're gonna be. Now, from my take on it, okay, and this may be right or may be wrong, is I tend to use water spot remover as spot treatment. And when I say spot treatment, that means like if I was driving down the road and I got hit with hard water from sprinklers, like just right here on my car, then I would consider using water spot remover just on that part. If I'm getting water spots from washing or something like that that are all over my car, then I'm gonna start moving into polishing the car, okay? Which kind of brings me to the third stage or third phase of water spots. And what happens is, if the water spots turn to scale and they adhere to your finish, what happens is as they sit there, they react to the sun, and that scale actually starts to turn to acid, and it will actually eat away at your clear coat, in which it starts to sink down into your paint, into your clear coat. Once that happens, you gotta polish it off. It's essentially at that point, it's a scratch that is in the form or shape of a water droplet or a water spot. So once you kind of get to that point, you're in the polishing mode. And listen, if you have water spots on your car anyways, it's probably, you know, you can polish your whole car anyways, which is gonna be a better process to remove it and make everything on your car look amazing. So I tend to, like, if I can't get water spots, this is just my personal thing. If I can't get water spots off with a clay bar, I instantly move on to polishing. That's just like my personal preference, because if I have water spots that bad, I definitely like want to get my car looking great again. So water spot remover, try to use it more of a spot treatment. Listen, if you're using it on your car, try to keep it on your paint. And sometimes water spot remover can just be a little finicky on glass. And the reason for that is glass is porous. So the hydrofluoric acid in water spot remover will penetrate those pores, and then you can't remove it, and then it just continues to work, and it makes your glass really hazy. And then at that point, you gotta either replace your glass, or you really need to polish it with a glass polish, which we don't necessarily have, but I've done that before on my shower doors. And as soon as I saw it was hazy, I sprinted to my garage and I grabbed compound and a blue foam pad, and I polished it, and I got most of it out. So just forewarning, keep it mainly on your paint. When it comes to your glass, I would say that polish that off with like our compound and a blue foam pad. Okay, so I have the car, just this part of the car washed, because I don't need to necessarily do the whole thing. I will after this, so Courtney doesn't get mad at me, but I'm gonna go ahead and rinse the car off. Now, I'm actually gonna rinse parts of the car off, because what I don't wanna do is rinse this whole thing, do the demonstration with you guys and talk about the products, and then I start to get water spots. So I'm just gonna do I'll do kind of this part here, and then we'll talk about the differences of our products. So rinsing the car off. You guys have any questions?
Is iron remover safe on PPF?
Is iron remover safe on PPF? That's a good question, and the answer is yes, it is, okay? Iron remover is definitely safe on PPF. You know, I will say, I'm pretty sure, this may be right or wrong, and it could be a question for customer service, but I think there are some manufacturers that use metallic dye for their trim, and our iron remover can stain black trim. I think it's mainly like Dodge, like a certain year of a Dodge car. Does that sound right, Courtney? But anyways, I would just make sure, usually what I do with iron remover, I'm like focusing on the paint, and I'm not trying to just blast the whole car down. I kind of do like spot treatment with it. So, okay, so I have like right here rinsed off. And now I'm going to use a drying aid. Okay. So drying aid, okay?
Real quick.
Yeah.
Before that, I owned a Pro Deionizer for about 2 months, and the water it releases smells like fish now. Which means
Yeah.
your bag is probably.
Yeah, the fish smell is pretty like common with the Deionizer. The resin that goes inside your tank, like if you smell a brand new thing or resin, it is like straight, like you're gonna cook salmon that night. Straight fish. It's like smells terrible. We just switched the resins here. It could not necessarily be because it's been over a certain amount of time. You just might be the first time you notice it, but that resin smells fishy. With your Deionizer, the thing to really be very, very conscious of is what the ppm is of your water, okay? ppm stands for parts per million. And with your Deionizer, let me see. Trying to figure out, Charlie had it. I need the TDS meter. There it is. Okay, with your Deionizers comes something that looks like this, okay? This is called a TDS meter, all right? TDS meter essentially reads the minerals that are inside your water. So TDS stands for total dissolved solids, and ppm is parts per million, okay? So this is reading the total dissolved solids, and then that unit of measure is gonna come in at ppm. So like, here, I'll just show you really quick. The same water.
3 pros hooked up to this.
So like this water that I'm turning on right now is coming from this spigot, coming through this hose right here and out to where this is, okay? So this is non-deionized water, okay? Or non-filtered water. So put this in here, okay? And I'm gonna turn this on. So right now it says 0 because it's not reading anything. And when I dip this in here, it jumps to 402 is the reading I'm getting on this, okay? So that's 402 parts per million, okay? Now, 402, I would probably say is like pretty standard when it comes to a, like just tap water, okay? I think if it goes above 500, then it's like, then the, if it goes above 500, then it's like not safe to drink. So you tend to see, like if you have like really hard water, you're kind of in that 400 up to 500, but not above. Now, we have a question on TikTok here in a second, but this water coming out of the pressure washer is hooked up to a Deionizer. So we put this in here. Okay, I'm doing the same test. And when I put this on here, my reading is 2. All right, so the non-filtered water, the one not using the Deionizer, out of that hose was 407, I think we said? 400 something? Just over 400. And with this, with the Deionizer running through the pressure washer system, it went from 2 and now it's to 3. So very, very minimal amount of total dissolved solids in the water I'm using. And I'm doing that because Charlie requested it because he doesn't want water spots all over his car. But for the sake of this video, I'm essentially showing you like how to manage a drying aid on your car. Now, I will say this before I answer the question on TikTok is a drying aid is sort of a dual purpose. I would say like a 3-purpose type of product. Number 1, it's to help reduce the chance of water spotting. Okay, it's gonna slow down the process of getting water spots. Number 2, it's to create less friction during your drying, okay? So your towel glides better and it scratches less, okay? The less friction you have and the more lubrication you have with product on your car, the less you're gonna scratch your car, okay? Now third, the other thing that really what this is gonna provide is shine, okay? There is a total difference between drying your car with detail spray and not drying your car with detail spray, okay? So drying aids are there to provide three separate things like I just talked about. What was the question on TikTok?
Someone wanted to know why the deionizer smells like fish.
Yeah, yeah, good question. So the deionizer, so the deionizer looks like a scuba tank, okay? Actually, here, it's gonna be a little bit loud, but just so you guys can get a visual. Actually, I might be able to bring one out. Hold on one second. Yeah. So, this is a deionizer. It doesn't have the hookup at the top, but what I wanna show you, it looks like a big scuba tank, all right? But inside of this, when I take this off, you can kind of see this, okay? See these like little, okay? It looks like, I don't even know what you call it, coffee grounds kind of. Not really, but they're tiny. Yeah, it's like sand. They're tiny little resin balls. And there's a ton in here. Like I'm sure the resin's probably filled up to about here. But these resin balls are the things that grab on to all of the minerals and all the stuff that's inside your water, okay? These resin balls are the things that smell like fish, all right? I don't really want to smell it because I don't know why it smells like fish, but it does, all right? So like when you get a brand new resin bag to refill, like I don't know what you would call it, but essentially to re-up your resin inside your tank, that resin smells like fish. So just realize when you buy the system, you get all of it. You get the tank, you get the resin inside the tank. I'm pretty sure, right? Or is it outside? I don't honestly like never ordered one. Always just grabbed one and took it home. But
They're resin bags.
that comes shipped. Okay, so whether the resin comes in the tank or not, you get resin with it. And then you also get the blue TDS meter like I was just showing you guys as we were reading the water. Okay, so this comes with it. And then you get a connector hose, everything that's like just a plug and play. You can start having filtered water as soon as it shows up to your house. Now, after a certain amount of gallons of water when you're using it, and you can, I'll show you here in a second, but after a certain amount of gallons of using it, I want to say, is ours rated at like 100 gallons, something like that?
Which one? The big one or the?
Yeah, like this one. I want to say it's like 80 or 100 gallons of water that can go through this. But once this kind of jumps up to that like 50 to 100 ppm when you read it on your TDS meter, that's about the time you need to start putting your order in for new resin, okay? The new resin bags cost about $100 to $150. And all you do is you unscrew the top like I just showed you, you dump out your resin, you get all the resin out of the tank, and you can just put it into a big trash bag and then throw it out. And then you refill your resin with the clean resin that you ordered, and your number, your TDS number or your ppm number will go back to zero like instantly. So it's kind of a upfront investment to get the tank and everything, but once you have that, I mean, you can just reorder the resin every few months. I'd probably give it like 3, maybe 6 months, depending. It really is depending on how much you're washing. If you're using a lot of water through this, it's gonna go faster. But I will say this, one thing is very unique to our deionizer system. It doesn't have it on here right now because we stole it to help a customer, but it has a bypass valve, okay? So it has a thing where you can turn things and it will essentially bypass the deionizer, go straight through, and you can use hard water on your initial rinse, and you can use it with your foam cannon because you're gonna be stopping water spots when you do that. And then your final rinse, you turn the bypass valves off and now you're using filtered water. So it helps extend the longevity or the life of the deionizer you buy. Got any more questions? Okay. All right, I'm gonna show you the drying aids now. So, get this wet. So usually what happens is after you wash your car, you rinse all the soap off and your car sits and it's all wet, right? It has water all over it. This is the time you use the deionizer. I've been talking about it so much. This is when you use your drying aid, okay? So The most traditional and probably the most effective drying aid of the bunch is going to be the pink stuff, which is detail spray. Okay, and the way you use this as a drying aid is you're going to spritz this on the car. I'll show you the way you should do it, and I'll show you the way you shouldn't do it. So the way you use this to spritz on the car is you move the sprayer as you walk, and you essentially get a mist of detail spray. And I can tell when it hits the car because the water bounces off. Okay, so I'll hit it right here so you can see. You can see how some of the water starts to fall off. That's because the detail spray is weighting down the water droplets and it's pulling it off of the car. Okay, so you go along and you mist the car like this. And what you don't want to do is you don't want to do this. You don't want to use a ton of detail spray because what happens is it loads your towel up with product and then it gets streaky across the whole surface. So you're just using a mist of it like this, okay? So that is how you spray it onto the car. That's how you disperse it onto the car, and then you use your drying towel. And what I want you to see, especially with this product, is how it works with the towel. So the easiest place to see is going to be on this glass right here. So you can kind of see the mist that I have on here mixed with the water. When I take the towel, not only is it very slick, but one swipe with like the weight of my hand, it just takes the water off instantly. There's like no water on there at all. Okay, so the drying aid is creating a slick surface, so lubrication, so it reduces the chance of drag with your towel. Okay, and as you're drying, I can just feel my towel gliding along the surface. Okay, really, really good. I mean, this is the safest way to probably dry your car other than using air only, okay, like a air cannon or something. So detail spray, you can see, and also it leaves the finish like really slick and shiny. So that's something that is really beneficial about a drying aid. Now, let me do this really quick. I'm going to hit this part. Now what I'm going to use is slick and slide, okay?
So
and you
slick and slide, can we go a little in depth? The B&B chemist sparked a lot of interest.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That, so
yeah.
Just as you
So
talked
yeah,
about it.
slick and slide is a very, like, I call this like the mystery product. Nobody knows what it is. Nobody knows how to use it. Okay, think about when you think of car care and you think of protection in car care, think of silos, okay, or like pillars. Number one, you have wax, okay? Number two, you have sealants, and number three, you have ceramic coatings. In our case, graphene ceramic coatings. In silo number one with wax, if you put a paste wax on your car, the product you want to use on top of that is going to be spray wax, okay? So you use wax with wax, okay? They're like a family. They love to hang out with each other. They love to work together, okay? So if you're using wax, stick with something called spray wax, which pretty straightforward. Now, when you get into the sealant part of things, which is more of a polymer resin or a polymer type of sealant, you have H2O Garden Gloss, which is our sealant. Okay, and the reason why we don't have like a apply by hand or apply by machine sealant is it's just kind of old news, right? If you can apply a sealant while drying your car, that's what H2O Garden Gloss is, and it's very effective and extremely easy to use. So if you have used H2O Garden Gloss on your vehicle, the product you use on top of that is Slick and Slide, okay? It's the same type of product inside of here, okay? Now, polymer sealants, when you add other things into the formula, makes it like the very, very slick surface, okay? So that's why we call it Slick and Slide, because I mean, realistically, I wish you guys could be here because after you spray this on, you feel it. It's just the slickest surface you've ever felt. If you've ever felt H2O Garden Gloss, after you're done, it's the same effect that Slick and Slide's gonna give. Now,
so with that, you're saying they're really similar. Is there a reason you use one over the other? Is it preference? Is it
as far as
Slick and Slide and H2O? Do you really
so
need to do
H2O Garden Gloss is, if you don't have a ceramic coating on your car, you can use H2O Garden Gloss as a base layer of protection for your vehicle, okay? But a sealant like H2O Garden Gloss is not gonna last as long as a ceramic coating. it's going to last roughly, I call it like 3 to 6 months. It just depends on where you live and the type of weather you see. So H2O garden gloss, we tend to tell people do that process every like 4th wash. So if you're going to be washing your car twice a week, then on the 2nd wash of the next week, you use H2O garden gloss. If you wash your car like once every 3 weeks, just whatever that 4th, maybe 3rd wash, do the H2O garden gloss process. And then in between that, you can use Slick and Slide to spray and wipe your car down, or use it as a drying aid to really support and bolster the H2O garden gloss that you put on your car as the base layer, okay? Now, getting into ceramic, okay, the last silo of protection, you're putting on like a graphene ceramic coating, all right, which is polysilazane, and the product that really supports and maintains a polysilazane based coating is SiO2 or silica. We've all heard of silica, SiO2. Everyone claims it to be a ceramic coating, a spray ceramic. It's a spray, it's a form of ceramic, but it's not a true ceramic coating, okay? But silica, which is more like CS3, okay? CS3 is a silica-based spray product, okay? So this has everything that's great about detail spray, which is like the slickness and the gloss, but it has the silica to help protect. So this is what if I had a ceramic coated vehicle, I would use CS3. Now, I know the question is gonna come up is, well, can I use graphene CS3 or can I use graphene detail spray? The answer is yes, but because there's the extra reduced graphene oxide inside of those products, they tend to streak more. So I tend to not use those because like I use those inside after my car has been washed and dried and I want to do a touch up. I will use graphene detail spray or graphene CS3 inside out of the direct sun, because as soon as those dry on the vehicle, as soon as the protection in those dry on the vehicle, it's really hard to get off. Okay, it's just kind of
also with the water, because there's the water, because you can use the graphene detail sprays to put details and stuff, but once you're having the water on there, it gets more streaky.
a little bit. If anything, the water kind of dilutes it down, so it makes it so. Realistically, like if you washed and you're gonna dry your car and it's a cooler day, let's call it like 60 degrees, and you pull it inside and you're out of the direct sunlight and it's 60 degrees, very mild temperatures, then maybe I would say you could use graphene detail spray or graphene CS3, but that's like a very specific situation, right? Like, so for me, it's like hard to just say like, yeah, use it, because I know for me, I've had bad luck with graphene CS3 as a drying aid. And listen, there's other people that might not have had bad luck with it. And if you didn't and you love it, keep using it, right? I'm just trying to create a baseline for everybody on like what the best product is for them. And I would say like, for the most part, a ceramic coated vehicle, CS3 is gonna be a great product as a drying aid, but there's some tips and tricks I wanna show you with this since we're out here talking about this, okay? So let's do Slick and Slide first, because I'm kind of going up the, you know, kind of doing like detail spray and then Slick and Slide and then CS3. So same thing, you use the drying aid the same way. So we're gonna make sure it's working, and then you mist it onto the surface, okay? Again, I'm not like getting really close and blasting this down because I don't really want this to streak. I don't want to use too much product, okay? Now, take the towel. I want to take a more a non-wet side of the towel. And I'm gonna wipe, I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna go over and back, and then I wanna see what happens, right? Okay, same thing, works amazing, right? And this one, I can definitely tell there's like a more slick surface to it while I'm using this, all right? So this is gonna be more slick than detail spray when you're using it. And that, I mean, it works amazing. So Slick and Slide. Now I will say this, if I was doing it on the other side in the direct sunlight, you would have seen streaks on here, okay? And what I wanna do actually is, actually you can see them. Just wait for a minute, you can actually see them. And that's kind of my thing when it comes to, so detail spray doesn't offer any protection. Detail spray is gonna offer shine, slickness, and reduce the chance for water spotting, okay? I think for me personally, I don't necessarily want a protection agent in my drying aid. And the reason why is generally you're drying on a hot surface, on a hot car, And I don't know if you can see this, Elin. You can kind of stand like right here, and you can see it's like the slick and slide has dried and it's kind of streaky there. Like I don't want these spots on my car. Can you see that? My
There we go.
you see that?
Yeah.
So that was from me wiping with slick and slide. Okay, so anytime you have added protection into your drying aid, what it's gonna do is the protection will dry and leave almost like we talk about this a lot in ceramic coating. It will leave like a high spot essentially. It's a part that I didn't wipe off enough with the towel. Okay. So I just want to do that so we can see how I sprayed more slick and slide on here to let it dry so you can see how you fix that. Okay, so we'll let that dry so it's a little bit more obvious. And actually you can see right here, I don't know if you can come check this out, Elin and Courtney, but the detail spray dried on the surface right here. You see that? Kinda. There's like a certain angle, like come stand where I am. Come like right, you get the white building in the background.
Yeah, there we go.
You see that?
Yeah.
Okay, so you can see like the detail spray is on the surface. Okay, now stay right there, Elin. When I take the towel and wipe this off, that kind of residue goes away and it's perfect. You see that?
Yeah.
So with detail spray, if I miss detail spray on the surface and I miss a spot where I wiped it, I could go back a week later, more like an hour later, and I can wipe it off and fix it without needing to do anything crazy, all right? Now, slick and slide, I'll show you here in a second, once it's dried.
Wait, did you spray slick and slide or CS3 on it?
This was slick and slide here. Yeah. Oh my gosh, feel that. That slick and slide is just crazy. So yeah, slick and slide provides, now feel over here. It's like similar, but oh, it's pretty close.
It's really similar, yeah.
But
slick and slide is just...
But this slick and slide is gonna stay slick like this for longer than detail spray, okay?
Real quick, can you clarify, should or should not use H2O garden gloss on a ceramic coated vehicle? Is there a point? Is there...
Yeah.
Matter?
So straight off the bat, H2O garden gloss is completely fine to use on a ceramic coated vehicle. It actually has SiO2 in it, which is the same thing that's in CS3. Okay, so H2O garden gloss is a great product for a ceramic coated vehicle. And listen, I think H2O garden gloss is one of those things, I don't know how you guys feel about it on TikTok and YouTube, but I think there's a love-hate relationship with that product. Some people like really, really love it, and some people are like, whatever. And I think I'm one of the I really love it type of people because it sort of makes the process of detailing a little more efficient. Okay, so normally what you would do is you'd wash your car, and then once you go to dry it, you pull it inside, you blow out all the nooks and crannies, and then you dry it with a towel. Oftentimes you miss some spots, so then you need to go back and do more. H2O garden gloss combines drying your car and protecting it all at the same time, and that's why I love it so much. And so I tend to use it probably once every couple months is when I use it, because listen, I have access to all this stuff. So there's times where I'm using CS3 car, there's times where I'm using slick and slide. I'm all over the place, but car care is meant to be enjoyed. So like whatever process that you enjoy the most when it comes to drying your car, what product, that's the one you should use. But yes, H2O garden gloss can be applied to a ceramic coated vehicle, and if anything, it works really good. And I mean, you could ask Elin. I showed him that product quite a few months ago, and I think the gloss that you get from it is pretty, I mean, it's significant for sure compared to like, yeah, definitely. It gives some sort of glow. And I think what it is ceramic coatings have such a thin layer, okay? Now, I just want to clarify this really quick. Ceramic coatings, okay, were designed to lock in perfection that you created by paint correcting your car, okay? So after you've polished your car and you get everything perfect, you essentially putting a ceramic coating shield on top to preserve that perfection for as long as possible. sealants sort of bridge the gap of wax and long-lasting protection. So sealants still provide like quite a bit of protection, but they also like they have a thicker layer than a ceramic coating, so it provides a gloss that sometimes can't be matched. I mean, ceramic coatings, yes, can be matched after putting it over a perfectly polished car, but H2O Garden Gloss, when it goes on, it has like this sort of, it almost looks like using fresh acrylic paint. You're like, oh my God, it looks incredible. H2O Garden Gloss can provide that. So yes, if you have H2O Garden Gloss and you have a ceramic coated vehicle, use it, use it, use it, use it, all right? And if you have questions around H2O Garden Gloss and like the process at which you use it, we have a really great video on YouTube again, which is how to dry and seal your car at the same time. And it's Adam, the founder of Adam's Polishes, showing how to use H2O Garden Gloss the proper way. So really great video to check out. All right, so now we're gonna move on to, I know I did detail spray on this, but we're gonna move on to CS3. And I just wanna show you guys the Slick and Slide is actually providing, you know, some pretty good it was pretty flat on the bottom here. So little bit of sheeting, but it's definitely like providing some hydrophobic properties to the surface of this car. Okay, now granted, Courtney really takes care of her car. So her paint is amazing, and I'm sure she's clayed it recently. So the condition of the paint is great, which is allowing the product to work really well. You can see like where the detail spray is over here, a little bit more flat on the door. Like it didn't do much here, see that? So again, detail spray is not intended to provide protection. It's more intended to provide a safe drying experience, which is reducing friction, providing lubrication.
What towel are you using right now?
Oh yeah, so the towel I'm using, a Jumbo Plush towel, okay? This is my second favorite towel on the line. But my first favorite towel is the Ultra Plush drying towel. And you know, this towel is really good. I think if you have two of these and you have like a big car, like an SUV or a truck, this towel really does a lot of good work on it. I would say if you have a darker colored vehicle like black or charcoal, I wouldn't necessarily get this towel, okay? The reason why is this is like it's not a two-sided towel. It has the same structure on both sides. So on this side, you have the pile side, or like a ton of fibers. Same with this side. So this is really to like pick up a lot of water. Okay, now Ultra Plush towel it's two-sided. Okay, it has like a finishing side, and it has the other side looks like this. Now the finishing side for me finishes on glass and paint perfect, and I use the finishing side on my car, and I let the other side of the towel hold on to all the water. Now the other thing about the Ultra Plush is it's white. So when you're drying your car off and you go like right here and you get a ton of dirt on your white towel, you can see it instantly. So then I know I need to like let's say with this, you know, I'm like drying and I go here and I go boom. I can't necessarily see if this is dirty or not. With the Ultra Plush I can. So if I do that and I see dirt, then I just flip the towel over and I keep going. So the Ultra Plush for me just it provides a little more information as to like, is the car still dirty? Things like that. I don't want to drag dirt across the rest of my car. It's just a better, I think it's a better experience for me because I'm more in tune with like what's happening during the drying process. But
While we're on the topic of towels, would you dry the whole car and then dry the wheels last? If you're drying your wheels?
yeah, so well, that's a good question. So somebody essentially said, you know, as we talk about towels, you know, do you dry the whole car first and then dry the wheels last? I would say, you know, probably the wheels right now are wet because we had washed the car, but we had cleaned the wheels a long time ago. We did that before we even washed the car. But yeah, so your wheels are going to be the dirtiest part of the car, whether you clean them or not. All right. So even if and it's the closest part to the ground. So if you go to dry your wheels first with a towel and you drag it along the ground and then you go to put it on your paint, very likely you're going to scratch your car. So usually what I like to do is I like to have separate towels for my wheels if I am even going to use a towel. But realistically, the way that the ultimate way to dry your car is you wash your car, you rinsed it like this, okay? So we rinse it off, we pull it inside, okay, inside to your garage, wherever the space is or into shade. And then you take your air cannon, whether it's the air cannon mini, which is a handheld one, or it's the air cannon junior, which is the middle one, or it's the air cannon dual motor, which is the big one. And you go and you blow out all the nooks and crannies. You blow all the water out of this handle, you blow it out of the seams, you blow it out of the mirror. And while you're blowing it out of those spots, you also blow it off of your wheels and tires, okay? So usually what I'm doing is using forced air to dry my wheels versus a towel. Now, if you don't have that and you do want to use a towel, we have a towel called the Mini Plush Drying Towel, okay? It's essentially a quarter of the size of our Ultra Plush Drying Towel, and it's way easier to hold on to and not drag on the ground, and use that only for wheels. So oftentimes what I'll do is have an Ultra Plush for my whole car, and then I'll have 2 mini plushes, one for each side to clean my wheels and like my door jambs.
Yeah, some under.
Yeah. All right, so let's use CS3 as a drying aid now. And more so what I'm doing, it's gonna provide the same type of thing as Slick and Slide, but what I want you to see is, if you miss a spot and it dries on the car, I want you to see what that looks like, okay? So, CS3, what I'm gonna do right now, so you can see the water's still like falling off the car. It's because CS3 is weighting down the water and then gravity's pulling it off of the car. And that, another thing, like drying aids help get more water off the car. It may not be significant, but it can definitely help with the amount of water you're wiping off when you're drying. And the less amount of water you have to dry off, the better, because it's when it starts to load up your towel, then that's when you start, instead of picking up water and product, you start moving it around, and that's what you don't want. Okay, so CS3, I'm gonna do that same wiping thing that I did. Okay, so we go like this. Okay, pretty good. That looks really good to me, actually.
I missed a spot.
Did I? I missed a spot. Uh-oh. Okay, so drying. I'm gonna dry this off. I'm gonna let this dry so you guys can see what happens. All right, but CS3, again, you know what? I think one thing I really like about the CS3 as a drying aid, not only is it providing protection, which is SiO2 silica protection, which is in like every one of our competitors' ceramic products, but it has some of the properties that Detail Spray offers, like the slickness. So it's providing some lubrication while I dry, so I know it's a safe drying process during this, okay? Now, one thing I do want you guys to realize is this process at which I'm doing it is a little bit different than reality, okay? Reality is the misting part that I was showing you guys, I do that to the whole car. And I always start in the sunny side first. Okay, you always start in the sunny side first because that's the part that's gonna dry the fastest with hard water, okay? So we're trying to reduce the chance for water spots, but also, again, provide a slick surface while drying. But start on the sunny side and make your way all the way around, and then go back to the sunny side. Dry the glass first, okay? Glass is the thing that's gonna appear the most streaky to you. So dry the glass first in the sun, dry the rest of the car glass, and then go back to the sunny side and then start drying the paint and then move your way around the car.
So we had another Nathan asking about the cost between all these. I know right now Slick and Slide we have 50% off.
Yeah, it's like $7 or something.
$6.99.
By the way, if
Orange one only.
The orange one, which is the same thing, it's just a orange color and a mango scent.
yeah, so check this out. We Slick and Slide, our blender, B&B Blending, accidentally mixed it wrong with the wrong scent and color, which is fine. It's the same product, but they mixed it wrong. So we're like, you know what? It was either like dump it out for the fishes, or not really, but dump it out, get rid of it, or sell it at a reduced price. I mean, I don't think we're making any money on that, zero. But I think we have to just show that we made a sale. But essentially, you can get that Slick and Slide for like $6 or $7.
Yeah, and
CS3 I think is
$19.99.
$19.99. The reason why it is because the formula in here is like very complex. Has silica, has all the lubrication from waterless wash, it has all the shine and lubrication from Detail Spray. So Very unique product. It's something you also don't use very much of, so $19.99. And then I think detail spray comes in at a solid $12.99. And you know, I'm sure right now we have like a deal going on. Is it June 20? Something like that. Anyways, if you go on our website, you'll see it, but we usually have a promotion running in which you can get stuff at a decent price anyways. So, what I would tell you guys to do is go to the product pages and snoop around. Like there is so much information that like Courtney has worked so hard to get onto the website, and there's videos that we've done that really explain like what I'm talking about. Once you get onto the product page, it can really help. I don't know. I mean, it can educate you a little bit, but it also can just see, you know, which one do I need? You know, in this video, I'm trying to help you with that anyways. So come check this out. You guys, the CS3 in the water has dried onto the surface here. And it might be easiest to see from this side.
It might be that.
And if you need me to put can you see that? So like when I move it around, you can really see that?
Yeah. Gotta use those beautiful clouds.
Yeah.
Some crazy clouds in there.
See this?
Yeah.
So watch this, okay? Can you see that, Courtney?
Yeah.
Okay, watch this. When I wipe it with the towel, so this is CS3 that has dried on the car, okay? Now when I try to wipe it with the towel, look what happens. Nothing, right? Okay, that's because the silica, which is a form of ceramic, has dried on here. So essentially like, this is like high spots of silica that are just sitting on the surface. So again, CS3 providing protection, you may fight with it because if it's hot like it is today, it will dry on the surface and then you got to get it off somehow, right? So the easiest way to get it off is you take the same product you were using, now you're like spraying and wiping it like you normally would. Spray it on there. You're like re-wetting the surface of CS3, and then when you wipe it off, it comes off perfect. Okay, so if you're using CS3 as a drying aid and you get product that dries on the surface and you're like, dude, I hate Adams polishes. This product sucks. It's streaky. You know what? They're the worst company I've ever worked for. Just pause for a second, spray a little bit of extra product on there, wipe it off, and it will come off perfect every time, okay? I would say the only exception to this is like a ceramic coating that has high spots, and there's a very specific process at which you remove high spots from a ceramic coating. And again, there's a video on that on YouTube. So go to our channel, check that out. But I hope this was really fast, right? So I tend to fight a lot with products like CS3 and Slick and Slide when I'm using it as a drying aid versus detail spray. If
We got no audio.
oh, okay.
Oh, nope, now it's back on.
Okay, audio.
Check again.
Check, chickadee, check yourself before you wreck yourself. I can't say the rest of the song because it's inappropriate.
Do you
Yes.
want to open up to any unrelated questions?
Oh yeah, I'll take unrelated questions whenever you want. I just want to say this last thing. What we just saw with the CS3 on the surface, excuse me, if I came back and detail spray was dry on the surface, I could have just wiped it off without using more product. So just realize that detail spray is going to be, as far as user friendly, detail spray is the easiest to use, okay? As far as offering protection, detail spray is 0, okay? So you kind of offset it by providing no protection but being the easiest to use. Slick and Slide sits in the middle. It's pretty easy to use, but it has protection, so you can fight with it a little bit. CS3 has a lot of protection, not as easy to use. You have to like manage it a little bit differently while you do it. So just keep that in mind. Oh, unrelated questions.
Someone wants to know if any interior cleaners are dilutable.
Oh, are any interior cleaners dilutable? Yeah, I mean, I think all of our products are dilutable for the most part, but they come RTU or ready to use. So there's no need to really dilute them. You know, I would say, I mean, realistically, I don't know. What would you say, Courtney? I would say probably our leather and interior cleaner would be the one that you would dilute probably out of all of them. And I would probably just give it like a 50-50. Like do if you're diluting it into 16 ounces, do like 8 ounces of like filtered water and 8 ounces of leather and interior cleaner. But I think for me, when I use leather interior cleaner, like I want like the sledgehammer. That's like the thing that does the most work when it comes to cleaning. And so leather interior cleaner, I want it full pop because I want it to clean the dirt and grime off of everything and then put leather conditioner over it. And then when I want to maintain it, then I just use total interior cleaner or interior detailer, which is probably my favorite. But yeah, I tend to use leather interior cleaner at full strength because it just makes it more effective. Question on YouTube.
With the interior, what should you use to clean fingerprints on a nav screen?
That's a good question. So yeah, fingerprints on a nav screen. This is a question we get a ton, and I think honestly, I think here in the next couple weeks, I want to do a video about how to clean nav screen, but also how to clean the inside glass, because that's a question we get a lot of, like, my windshield's foggy, how do I clean that? But in regards to the nav screen, what I personally like to do is I use Total Interior Cleaner. Okay, Total Interior Cleaner was like so awesome for us because we never really had an interior cleaner that you could use on glass as well as hard surfaces. So Total Interior Cleaner works amazing on nav screens. But what I will say is, you can use Brilliant Glaze on that, and Brilliant Glaze sort of cleans it really well, but also puts a sort of layer of, not wax, but it's sort of like a film layer on it, so fingerprints don't happen as much. Or when they do, you can just wipe it with a towel and it goes away. So you're kind of treating it a little bit. And that's something I'll talk about in a future video, but I would just say stick to Total Interior Cleaner or Glass Cleaner. Detail Spray also works on nav screens, but detail spray you don't really use on the interior. So I tend to just, there's a couple ways to approach it. Total Interior Cleaner, or if you went around and you dried your car and you have detail spray with you, oftentimes, when I'm done drying my car, actually, dude, let's just show this. When I'm done drying my car, I'll take a fresh towel and I'll go and clean my interior glass. And then, oh my gosh, Courtney.
My phone's overheating.
Let's see, how would I turn this off?
We've got 14% on yours.
Yeah, we're about to be done here in a minute.
There might be a screen. If you go to the menu, there's a screen cleaning mode in a lot of the cars. I know the Teslas have like a screen cleaning mode.
Dude, I'm so not advanced. I have an 08 4Runner, and it's like, I clean it with sandpaper.
Controls display light, locking light.
This one?
Yeah, try that one. And then display. Huh. It could be in there.
Power off vehicle. Anyways, can you...
got the black, so let me come around. You can see there's like the black.
Yeah. Sorry, everyone, we're live. We're trying to figure out how to essentially like be able to see this a little bit better. But I think, can you guys see like
You can see it, yeah.
see how like nasty that is? And honestly, like a lot of this too. Do you want me to show detail spray, which is pretty easy? Or do you want to see an actual interior product, Elon?
Let's do total interior.
Yeah,
I
let me-
think there's one in there.
Yeah. Give me, just hang tight really quick.
That's the product we most recommend, so.
Yeah, hang tight for a second. Is there total interior cleaner up there?
See what?
Total interior cleaner anywhere? Total interior cleaner. Total interior cleaner. Oh, come on. Sure, everyone could hear me. Oh, you have it. What the heck, bro? Can you throw me that gray borderless? Let's go. All right. Yeah. Okay, total interior cleaner.
Will you say real quick? The mic on the Slick and Slide is still on sale. It's just mango one.
Yeah, Slick and Slide currently at adamspolishes.com is on sale for, I think it's either $6 or $7 total.
Yeah.
And
$6.99.
it's specifically for the mango version. So we accidentally screwed up and blended the wrong scent and color. And so instead of just getting rid of it, we're selling it for 50% off. So yeah, go to the website right now and check it out. Slick and Slide. It should be in the Just In page. Would be like the easiest place to find
Yeah,
it.
there's a big home page banner too. Right when you go on the website, you can go straight
Okay.
to the page.
Yep, right on the home page. All right, so total interior cleaner, right? So total interior cleaner, I kind of have the wrong towel, but for the most part is for cleaning the hard surfaces of interior, okay? And this product's fairly new to our line. I'd say maybe like a year old. And the unique thing about this is not only is it a mild cleaner, but it also finishes matte or OEM. So it doesn't provide like any look or anything. So
That's nice.
no matter where you use it, it's gonna finish. Like even on this steering wheel, like I can really do a quick cleaning on the steering wheel, and like when it finishes, it's gonna look like I cleaned it, but I didn't like add shine or richness or anything like that. And the other part that's really cool about it is you can use it on the interior glass. Okay, so like this, I can use it almost like a glass cleaner, like so, and it's not going to be streaky. Okay, and you can also use it, because it works great on glass, is you can use it on nav screen. So you can do it two ways. I tend to just give it, I like to control my spray, so I'll just give it like a quick little hit like that. Okay, so not very much. You just take this, and I'm using the weight of my hand and a nice light wipe and fast wipe. Okay, long and fast wipes do the best for car care. All right, and it comes out perfect like that. You see that okay?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, so this product, and even like right here, you know, the piano black is like crazy on this car. So spray it into the towel, get the cleaner in different areas. I think Courtney went online and asked this question, so I'd clean her car. But it just finishes perfect every time. I love this product.
Unrelated one. This is a little older one from Steve. It's on the original. How would you compare ceramic boost versus graphene ceramic boost? Oh, that's nice.
Oh yeah, that's incredible.
Got AC now.
Gosh, Courtney just. Okay, so sorry, say that again.
Steve with the question: how would you compare ceramic boost versus graphene?
Yeah, that's a good question. So how do you compare ceramic boost with graphene ceramic boost? So very similar product. Graphene ceramic boost is essentially the same exact thing as ceramic boost. It's just bolstered by the reduced graphene oxide. Okay, so graphene ceramic boost is going to be a longer lasting maintenance product. Okay, really, really great product. I really like that. And actually, not too long ago, I want to say it was like 2 or 3 live videos ago, we talked about maintenance products for a ceramic coated vehicle, and that boost, I mean, killed it on Tyler's truck. It was super flat on his truck. We put that on there, hit it with the pressure washer, and it was like we put spray coating on. So the loading level of a graphene boost is just amazing. It works really good. But what I will say is the best way to use it is after you've washed and dried your car and it's sitting in the garage, you go through and treat it. You want to use a little bit, goes a long way with that product, and you want to use it. Maybe I don't use interior on your paint, Courtney, but you use it like a little bit at a time. Just use it maybe like that much, and then you're gonna wipe it off, okay? And I'd probably say to use it with like 2 towels, okay? And the reason for that is by the time you get to the other side of the car, your towel's gonna be loaded with boost, and you're gonna be kind of moving it around the surface. When you switch to a fresh towel, it's gonna make it perform better. Now, regular ceramic boost, same thing, it just doesn't have the graphene in it. If you have that product and you have a graphene ceramic coated vehicle, you can use it and it will work really good. Provides a really slick surface, And I really like ceramic boost. A lot of people for a long time were using that as their primary protection agent, and they loved it. So
oh, talking about that video, you can find all these live videos on YouTube still.
yeah, exactly. Elon's mentioning that you can find the live videos on YouTube. Yeah, we've been doing these live videos for probably 3 years now, and we used to do them on Facebook, and this year we switched to YouTube so they can like live and sit somewhere for a longer period of time, well, forever. And so if you search Adams Polishes on YouTube, you'll see one of the first things that will pop up. Well, first you'll get an ad. Screw that. The next thing is you're gonna have our logo, the Adams A logo, and it will say Adams Polishes YouTube channel. Click that, it will take you to the homepage of our YouTube channel. You're gonna have sort of like a layout of like different videos that are featured there. But at the top, there's tabs. One says videos, one says shorts, and the next one says live. Click that live tab, and then it will show you the list of every live video we've done on YouTube, and find the one that's most interesting to you. Like this one, after we're done and we press finish on this video, it's gonna stay there forever. So if you wanna come back and reference this video, or you didn't have a chance, you jumped on late, you can always go back to the beginning and watch everything. So great resource, and it's all education based. I mean, there's somewhere hanging out with Adam, but for the most part, it's like I pick a topic. Sometimes, like this topic today was requested from some people from last week on the live, and I will address whatever you guys want when it comes to car care. And my goal is to make you feel like you're, you know, Courtney has 50 people behind her and you have a bunch of people behind you. We're just here talking about certain topics of car care. If there's no more questions, we can sign off.
Last one, the graphene will build up if you use it too often?
Not really. So someone said the graphene will build up if you use it too often. I'd probably say no, but I would also say like there's just no need to use it often, because the protection layer that it provides is so significant as far as like hardness and resistance to chemical and things like that, that you don't, as far as like ceramic coating, if you use the advanced graphene ceramic coating in the little bottle, you could reapply that every like 3 to 5 years. The standard 60 ml bottle, which is just a silver and black label, that's a 5 to 7 year coating. I'd say you could reapply that every 2 to 3 years,
but
right?
Like graphene detail spray.
But like graphene detail spray really is to help add performance to the ceramic coating that's on your vehicle. So it's to help bolster what you have on there already. You know, it's like, you know, when I go to the pool with my kids, we make them put the thick lotion for sunscreen on them, and then they go swimming and they hang out, and then when they get out, we just spray them down really quick, right? We don't need to put another full thick layer of it on them. Same idea with car care. You put the graphene ceramic coating on here, it is a base layer. It is gonna be there for a long time. And the way to take care of that base layer of ceramic is by using things like graphene shampoo, graphene boost, graphene detail spray. It really just supports and makes, you know, with ceramic coatings come great responsibility, right? Like this, I want people to understand that if you put a ceramic coating on your car, it doesn't mean that you get to neglect your car now. If you neglect your car, it's gonna show on there. The ceramic coating is gonna wear off faster because you don't take care of it, right? Ceramic coatings are intended to make your car care life easy, okay? So when you wash your car, it's easier. When you wash your car, you scratch less. But it doesn't mean you wash less frequent. It just means that you are gonna enjoy washing your car more. It's gonna be effortless. And then there's other tools that you can use, like a pressure washer and an air cannon, that make it even that much easier and that much more efficient, in which you'll always have a clean car and you'll love driving it. So that's kind of the idea of ceramic coating. It's not a throw it on and forget about it. It's a put it on. Oh my gosh, this is so much better to clean my car with the ceramic coating on it. Like, I love this. I want to clean my car next week too. Actually, I'm just going to do it on Friday instead of next week. That's kind of how it works. So
last question. Ceramic boost is really hard for me to achieve on my metallic black car.
okay.
Is graphene boost any easier to use?
Graphene boost, I would say, is same as like how easy it is to use. You know, they're just the thickest layer of silica and kind of ceramic boost protection or product. So yeah, if you're struggling with the ceramic boost, like just the first product, I would probably not jump to the Graphine Boost. I'd probably tell you to jump to like the Graphine Detail Spray. That doesn't have as much of a loading level in it as Graphine Boost, and it's gonna work really good. And honestly, to be quite honest, this might be the one that you want, because CS3 is extremely easy to use and still provides that kind of ceramic boost vibe that you're looking for. But what I would say, like ceramic boost, you use like every 3 months. This one you could use like every month, and it would be kind of the same idea. So CS3, I think if I had to pick any product, I'd actually pick CS3 for you, because I think you would love it the most. So there you go. Thank you guys for watching today. I know we were a little late, but had to get the pressure washer working, and I hope what we did today on Courtney's car, I mean, gosh, this finish is so slick, but you know, learning about drying aids. We also went over a little bit of like deionizers and how those work. So if you jumped on late, go back and watch it. Go check out our other lives. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. You know, it keeps you up to date with the stuff we're doing, and makes me look good with my boss. So, so thank you guys for watching. And I think next week I kind of have I was planning on doing like, you know, the best practices and best ways to apply a DIY ceramic coating. So if it's something you guys are interested in, leave a thing in the comments. Say, yeah, I want to see how you apply ceramic coating. If you want something different, like how do we properly wash our car? How do we clean our wheels? Put it in the comments and I'll do it for you guys. So thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.